Hello everybody and hello Meg. So today we are going to try to analyze your dream that you've sent me. And without further ado, I'm going to read the dream to you. So this is Meg's dream. It's quite extraordinary. And it's going to be very interesting to see what it means. The recurring dream I seem to have is me dying and then being reborn as something more godly, goddess. It keeps happening and I'm wondering what this means. I feel sad initially when I pass, yet rejuvenated somehow when I'm reborn. I see myself dying in a long, flowing white dress, lying in a coffin of glass inside a vast cathedral, while the people I love shed tears. Suddenly, a light comes through the stained-glassed windows, flooding the coffin and my body with an unearthly glow. My body lifts up with the light and becomes one with it. Finally, the glow dissipates and I am floating above the coffin in a lavender dress and long flowing hair. I tearfully embrace my family and friends and tell them I have been reborn as a goddess. It is a very visual experience and it usually has me crying a bit in my sleep, but that goes away. So we're going to work with that, and before I begin, let me just say this to all the tarot readers out there, because I know some of you know the tarot and sometimes do readings. When you do a dream analysis reading, it's important to break it into important parts. So try to pick out or sort out the important from the non-important, which is, since it's not your dream, it's not very easy. But there are certainly more significant themes that you can separate from the rest of the dream, and this is what I'm gonna do. And by the way, all of this works not just with dreams that you have at night, but daydreams too. Sometimes it happens that we get lost in thought and we imagine things, and it's, even though we are not dreaming, it seems like a dream. So we are awake, but it seems like a dream, and we can use this technique to work with those experiences as well. Or if you have a real life experience that seems like a dream, so it's almost like it could have happened in one of your dreams and it seems very symbolic, then you can ask the cards about that event as well. So I'm going to do a freestyle reading, which is, by the way, available from my Patreon page and also through PayPal. And the freestyle reading is excellent for this problem, for dream analysis, because, like I said, the parts that seem more significant, more symbolic, we can just use the cards in a not bound not strict format to ask about them, to ask about those things. I'm sorry about my voice, but I'm still not fully recovered from the flu, even though I feel so much better now. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pick a card for you as you were in your dream before you died. So that represents yourself, your dream self before the death. And then we have a card for the actual death experience, and so we're going to look into the significance of that. And then I would like to pick a card to represent your goddess self, as you put it. So there's certainly an elevation here, which is not only represented by your wording, the experience of turning from a mundane being into something godlike, but also the actual elevation of your body from the coffin. So there is an upward motion that I would like to represent with the positioning of the cards as well. So I would like to see the significance of the white and lavender dress too. We might have our ideas about what this means. Usually white represents innocence and purity, and lavender is representative of secret, esoteric knowledge. It can be that, but we'll see. White dress and the purple dress. And I would just like to draw another card to give us an idea about how you could turn this dream into practical knowledge. So what this dream actually means, or what should you do about it, that kind of thing. And I would like to put this card behind this other card. Okay, now so let's see first this line of elevation. You before the dying, the experience of dying, and what happens after. Okay, I see. The white dress, the lavender dress. Interesting. This is really, really, really beautiful. And it looks like this dream is a very significant one. And we have 3 major arcana cards here, and one of them is the card that is only included in this tarot deck that I use now, the Osho Zen tarot deck. So it's not used in any other tarot versions, like the Rider-Waite or the Aleister Crowley-Thoth tarot deck. It's an extra, it's a bonus card in the Osho Zen tarot deck. And you can see the Master Osho here, which makes sense because this deck is named after Osho, but it doesn't necessarily have to be connected with Osho. It could be any other teacher or any guiding force that you feel is relevant to your life. Okay, now let me get this booklet that I have. This card deck, this Osho Zen tarot deck, is still a little new for me. It has a very different system than other tarot decks that I've worked before, so it's still relatively new and unknown to me. So I sometimes need this booklet to help me out. But also there are these interesting and beautiful texts associated with the cards that I would like to, some of it I would like to read to you. But first, let me say this. So there is absolutely an elevation from the Fool, which represents yourself before the dying, from the Fool to the Master. The Fool is not necessarily someone who is stupid in any way. It just means inexperience or naivety, innocence, and just a general openness and a lack of fear from danger. As you can see, the Fool here is almost stumbling down into the abyss, and he is holding a white flower in his hand. So this represents the way we come into the world, the way we are unassuming and naive and just completely trusting of the universe. So your self before the dying experience is a very inexperienced, immature, but very open one. So you are already on a path towards discovering the things that you will discover, but you're still inexperienced. And here we have the card of receptivity, which is the Queen of Cups in the Rider-Waite deck. And it looks like an initiation to me. And there's also like a celebration. It's like a movement of celebration, the way she throws her hands in the air. And there's the lotus flower, and the whole thing is like, just like you said, it's a feeling of being rejuvenated. So this death experience, it has to do with your emotions, with the way you connect to the world emotionally. So I would say that this is the best kind of death that there can be the death of a self that is no longer of use through service to others. So the Queen of Cups really is about a lack of selfishness. So you are selfless when you are the Queen of Cups, and you offer your whole heart and your whole being to the universe and to the others around you. So there may come an opportunity in your life where you might experience that that by losing who you believe yourself to be, you can connect with others more easily and you can give more to others. So this is really about being more giving. And there's also a feminine aspect of it. So during this process, we were talking about the white dress and the lavender dress. And the white dress, here it's called creativity, but it's the Empress card. And the Empress card, it's the archetypal feminine energy of creativity, of nurturing and allowing things to grow, creating the opportunity for things to grow. So the white dress, in my opinion, represents those ideas that you have about yourself as a woman, that you can provide certain things to your friends and your family and your loved ones. And so it's all about service, and it's all about being nurturing and nourishing. But as we get more and more elevated, you get more and more far away from this idea of having to serve others, which is, it's a beautiful thing, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but there's more to life than that. And I think that the way you describe it, the way of becoming a goddess, means that you would like to shed the persona of the archetypal women, and you want to become more. You would like to exceed the limitations of that experience, which is, it's still beautiful and wonderful, but you are more universal than that. So you are not just a woman, you're not just a feminine. There is a coming together of the oppositions, the opposite sexes, and there's like I said, a cosmic, a more universal, a more neutral knowledge that is not dependent on your gender or your gender role or how society perceives women. And with the Queen of Cups, I would say that the death experience here is the discovery that you should not only give to others, but you should be just as generous to yourself by letting yourself evolve into the master. And the lavender dress, consciousness, the Ace of Swords in other decks. The Ace of Swords is representative of the mental field of life. So we are getting further away from the earthly qualities represented by the Empress and even the Fool. So we are going further and further away from the concrete, the physical, the material, the mother-like. And we are heading towards the abstract. So you have a very deep desire and a need and an ability to be more abstract and to understand things from a timeless and spaceless perspective, which is represented here by the Master. So you are in the middle of becoming a spiritual being, or not becoming, but discovering that you already are. And I would like to see the hidden card now. And the card here is courage. It's called strength in the Rider-Waite deck. So the courage card, it represents it's, by the way, it's another major arcana card, so this is actually a very important message to you, to to be brave and to let yourself experience this, and your dreams are going to guide you towards the direction that you should go. All you need to do is you need to allow yourself to experience this, because there may be some guilt and there may be some lack of awareness about how beneficial this is, not only in you but in your environment as well. So there may be some kind of opposition, but the truth is, sooner or later this will eventually come into fruition, and you will be reborn, and you will exceed the limitations of your conventional self. I hope that you liked this reading, and I hope that you found it useful. I wish you a lot of strength and courage to go through this with this. It looks like you are a very special being going through a very special journey. So good luck with that, and I hope to see you all soon. Goodbye.